Confidential with my buddy Ed.
Ed Robertson welcoming you back to TV Confidential, radio talk show about television. The holidays are upon us, and with that in mind, if you're planning a trip to Los Angeles over the Christmas and New Year's holidays, and especially love film and TV history, be sure to plan a visit to the Hollywood Museum. The Hollywood Museum, 1660 North Highland Avenue, near Hollywood Boulevard in the historic Max Factor building. The newest exhibit at the Hollywood Museum, Happy Trails, celebrates the lives and legacy of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, the legendary King of the Cowboys and Queen of the West. The Happy Trails exhibit opened on Friday, November 22nd, and features a host of never-before-seen personal items from the collection of Roy Rogers, including an impressive array of vivid color movie posters, personal furniture made for Roy Rogers and Dale Evans by their good friend, actor George Montgomery, plus photos, collectibles, merchandise, and more. Tickets and more information, thehollywoodmuseum.com. There was a special preview of the Happy Trails exhibit at the Hollywood Museum on the evening of Thursday, November 21st. TV Confidential was there that night. We're going to play audio highlights of some of the friends and family members of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans who spoke that night as part of our program this week. Without further ado, the next voice you'll hear will be that of our friend Danelle Dadigan. Danelle Dadigan, founder and president of the Hollywood Museum. Danelle began the evening by sharing a few thoughts on the legacy of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans.
Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, they were a team, both on and off screen, from 1947 till Roy Rogers' death in 1998. I mean, that's a half a century they were together. Quite something. You know, and of all the classic Western stars who performed in the mid part of the 20th century, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans together are one of the very few that maintained a strong appeal among both casual and serious Western and cowboy fans of all ages. You know, we all love the King of the Cowboys and the Queen of the Westerns. And how many of you remember Trigger, their Palomino horse? And Bullet, their German Shepherd? My goodness. You know, this exhibit is an educational and entertaining and informative retrospective of one of the most popular American Western stars, the duos of all time. And we know it is sure to draw locals, professionals, and tourists from around the world in search of remembering the once upon a time. It really evokes so many memories. And many generations, as we know, have enjoyed the American Westerns of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. And thanks to all of the alternative entertainment vehicles now available, including streaming and YouTube, newer generations are now exploring their ever-popular films, the TV shows, the public appearances, the comics, the documentaries, going to Western conventions, autograph shows, and reading. You know, there are a wealth of award-winning biographical books highlighting Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. So, you know, thank you so much for joining us this evening. So joining this evening, the Roy Rogers and Dale Evans family, we have, as we just spoke, the granddaughter of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, Julie Rogers Fox. Well, I have to say that, you know, she appeared on television and in concert with her famous grandparents and so much more. And she was the special exhibit coordinator here tonight for this wonderful new exhibition, Happy Trails, celebrating the legacy of her grandparents, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. And we'll be hearing more about Julie shortly. We have also with us this evening the grandsons of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, your sons, Taylor, Trevor, and Brandon Ashley. Where are you guys? There you are. The granddaughter of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, Lori Woolery. Thank you. And David Smith, the grandson of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. And Roy and Dale's granddaughter, Marcy Swift. And welcoming to this evening's special tribute and opening of Happy Trails, celebrating the legacy of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. It's really something to have the family members here. It means so much to all of us here at the Hollywood Museum.
You're listening to special coverage of the opening night ceremonies for the new Happy Trails exhibit at the Hollywood Museum, honoring the life and legacy of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, the legendary king of the cowboys and queen of the westerns. The Happy Trail exhibit is now open to the public and features a host of never-before-seen personal items from the collection of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans and the Roy Rogers family. Tickets and more information, thehollywoodmuseum.com. The Happy Trails exhibit was coordinated with the help of Julie Rogers Pamelia. Julie Rogers Pamelia, the youngest daughter of Tom Fox, the only biological son of Dale Evans by her first marriage, and the granddaughter of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Julie Rogers Pamelia, also the author of Your Heroes, My Grandparents, A Granddaughter's Love.
So let's give a very big thank you to our special exhibit organizer. So Julie Rogers, thank you. And as many of you know, Julie has a love, to say the least, for her grandparents, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, and all things classic Western, Hollywood, and more. So Julie, you are now a part of our Hollywood Museum, part of our family, and your work side by side with our Director of Operations, Steve Nickelmo, was nothing short of amazing. So let's give a round of applause to Julie Rogers and Steve Nickelmo.
Julie Rogers Pamelia was also one of the guest speakers that night at the Hollywood Museum. We'll hear from her a little later on in our coverage. In the meantime, as we take you back to the Hollywood Museum, we'll hear again from museum founder and president Danelle Dadigan introducing some of the other guest speakers that night.
So now it's time to hear from some of our special guests tonight. We're thrilled to have with us family members and friends of the family of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, sharing special stories about the iconic Western duo of the hour, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans.
We are very pleased to have with us here tonight actor and friend Robert Carradine, who also comes from an entire family of Western actors right out of Central Casting. Bobby himself has successfully navigated the industry, taking not only Western roles, but a variety of genres in both TV and film, including Disney Channel's Lizzie McGuire and his starring role in Revenge of the Nerds. His family has been longtime friends of the Rogers family. So thank you, Bobby, for sharing a few words.
Oh, thanks for that introduction. I really appreciate that. You know, I was thinking Roy Rogers had an integral part in the Carradine legacy. Because back in '43, Roy and my father, John Carradine, were working on a film called The Silver Spurs. And my brother David was on the set that day, and he was observing these two gentlemen doing their thing. And he thought, you know what? I think that's what I want to do. I want to be an actor. So that led to my brother Keith becoming an actor, which led to me becoming an actor, which led to Keith's daughter, Martha Plimpton, becoming an actress, and my daughter, Ever, becoming an actress. So thanks, Roy. I think you're all going to enjoy this program tonight. You're going to hear a lot lengthier stories than mine, but no less heartfelt. Thank you.
Actor Robert Carradine telling the story of how his brother David was on the set of Silver Spurs. Silver Spurs, a movie featuring Roy Rogers and John Carradine, and how the experience of watching his father, John Carradine, working in a movie with Roy Rogers inspired David Carradine to become an actor, as well as Robert Carradine, Keith Carradine, and their offspring. Happy Trails, the exhibit honoring Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, now open to the public at the Hollywood Museum, 1660 North Highland Avenue in Hollywood, California. Tickets and more information, thehollywoodmuseum.com. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
One more item: if you're starting a company, particularly one that is in an emerging market, you know that averting any sort of legal dispute is crucial to your business plan. Our friends at Tectonic Law offer an array of services that can help you avoid and preempt future litigation while also developing and protecting your intellectual property and intangible assets. Tectonic Law serves the needs of a host of emerging industries throughout California and beyond, including industrial designers, beverage makers, artists, farmers, retail stores, health practitioners, wellness experts, cosmetics manufacturers, nonprofit organizations, innovators in sustainable practices, and libraries. Go to tectoniclaw.com to learn more about how Tectonic Law can help your business thrive. tectoniclaw.com. Rock solid representation for groundbreaking industries.
Hi, this is Lee Purcell, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
As we take you back to the Hollywood Museum, the next voice you'll hear will be that of Steve Michelmo, Director of Operations for the Hollywood Museum, introducing the next guest speaker at the opening ceremonies for the Roy Rogers Dale Evans Happy Trails exhibit, Western filmmaker and historian Rob Word.
With an unmistakable love of the West, television writer, producer, cinematographer, editor, host, and artist, Rob Word has done it all. He and his wife Laura have been longtime friends of Roy and Dale, and Rob was the executive producer on Roy Rogers, An American Hero, for A&E's biography. Most recently, he wrote the foreword for their granddaughter Julie Rogers' book entitled Your Heroes, My Grandparents. We're happy to welcome Rob tonight to share his brief memory of his friendships with Roy and Dale.
Thank you. And we're all here because we love West. Blessed to have met him in 1971 when I was in Florida, and we did an interview, and he told me about working with Bob Hope and Son of Paleface, and there was a scene where Trigger was in bed with Bob Hope. It was a charming story with Roy because he set the level so high for being a good cowboy that it affected several generations, and this is a wonderful exhibit with so many terrific items here. What a nice place to display this here, right in the heart of Hollywood too, in the Max Factor old building where a lot of not so pretty people were made to look like these. So what happened with Roy, I mean, I was blessed. We did the Golden Boot Awards for many years. We started that in 1983, a fundraiser for the Motion Picture Hospital that brought Roy and Gene Autry back together again. And they were kind of rivals. Their careers paralleled each other, and for them to get back together again, they said it was a connection that was a wonderful legacy for them to share, and we were thrilled to have them every year. When Roy and Dale were having their 50th wedding anniversary in Victorville, we were invited to go to it, and it was in 1997, and Roy, his health wasn't good, and he passed in 1998, which was tough for a lot of people. And Gene Autry, like I said, his career paralleled Roy's. He died in 1998 also, just a few months later. It was a shock for all of us who love Westerns. But at the wonderful 50th wedding anniversary, Roy and Dale put on a spread. The Sons of the Pioneers sang, and they had on the table a white wine and a red wine with their photo on it on the label. And I just couldn't bring myself to drink this red wine. So we're going to open it tonight. What we're going to do is Julie is going to take this and put it on display here so everybody can see this. They were a loving couple and an inspiration for everybody. They had had a lot of hardships in their life, but yet they always looked on the bright side, and they're an inspiration for so many people, and we want to keep their legacy going. So it's up to you to spread their legacy and to keep talking about them We love them, and thank you all for being here. Thank you, Julie.
Rob Word, Emmy-nominated writer-producer, one of the founding fathers of the Golden Boot Awards, sharing a few memories of his friendship with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, and telling the backstory of one of the personal items of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans that is now part of the Happy Trails exhibit, now open to the public at the Hollywood Museum, 1660 North Highland Avenue in Hollywood, California. Tickets for more information, thehollywoodmuseum.com. Also, one of the guest speakers at the opening ceremonies for the Happy Trails exhibit was Stanley Livingston. Stanley Livingston, the actor known around the world as Chip Douglas on My Three Sons. As you're about to hear, Stan's long career in show business can be traced directly to Roy Rogers.
Howdy, partners. Well, I've been in show business for 70 years. Hard to believe. But how it started for me was when I was a child, I watched TV. What did I watch? Cowboys. Yeah, Gene Autry, Hopalong Cassidy, Wild Bill Hickok, and of course Roy Rogers. And I decided I wanted to be a cowboy. I didn't know cowboys were in real life. I thought they were only on TV. So it seemed like a good occupation to me, and my mom got interested in me being in show business. And on my first set of headshots, which I think Donnell held up here, I wouldn't dress up in regular clothes. Anyway, the only way she could get me to go to the photo shoot was to buy those cowboy clothes. So she did, and my first photo session was all in cowboy garb. And I guess it was shortly thereafter my agent that I knew he was with sent me out on a commercial. And guess who it was with? Roy Rogers. So I thought I hit pay dirt. And the commercial was a toy lariat that I guess they sold on TV in those days. And anyway, I was trying to learn how to use it. And Roy took some time and showed me how you open it up and start spinning it around. And I was trying to do that, and then he was next to me, and his was whizzing through the air. And he kind of backed away and threw it, lassoed me, and kind of pulled me over to him. Anyway, I got lassoed by Roy Rogers. So I thought I was in seventh heaven. I thought the doors of Hollywood were going to open, and I was going to be doing all kinds of Western movies and Western TV shows. Anyway, that didn't happen. Number one, the reason I'm not smiling in that picture is I didn't have two front teeth. And I couldn't grow a mustache, so that kind of put a damper on it. But anyway, the industry had other plans for me, and a couple years later, I ended up doing Ozzie and Harriet. A couple years after that, I got the part of Chip on My Three Sons, which, lo and behold, ran for 12 years, still on TV, after 60, it'll be 65 years coming up. Never got off the air, so proud of that. However, all my friends got to be in Westerns. Don Grady was in one. Tim was spinning Marty. A buddy of mine, Johnny Crawford, was on The Rifleman. So I was really jealous. I mean, I got to play with Tramp, and that was pretty cool. But these guys got to play with six-shooters, horses. That was more up my alley. Anyway, I finally did hit pay dirt. About 1963, I got cast in a movie called How the West Was Won. So I finally got to be in a Western. Anyway, that's my story. I'm stuck with it. Thanks very much, and enjoy the evening, and enjoy the Roy Rogers exhibit. Glad to be here.
Stanley Livingston, the actor known around the world as Chip on My Three Sons, sharing a few memories of working with Roy Rogers early in his career. Stan was one of the guest speakers at the opening night ceremonies for the new Happy Trails exhibit on display right now at the Hollywood Museum. We'll take a quick time out. We'll play more highlights of the opening night ceremonies from the Hollywood Museum when we come back on TV Confidential. Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to the TV Confidential podcast. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to the TV Confidential podcast, or better yet, give us a review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or wherever you listen to our podcast.